Oh god. Alright, that's a video. That's a video.
Looks pretty good, right? I mean, it is. It is really good. But looks may be deceiving. The Tenet Grigori is an amazing weapon, don't get me wrong. But the reason for that high of a damage is this. The disc is multiplicative to condition overload, or as people like to call it, MultiCO, which means you can mode for prime pressure point and condition overload, and these stack multiplicatively to each other and everything else. And it gets pretty crazy for that reason mainly. But obviously, how the hell would I enable my Tenokai by hitting guys with Discipline's Merit, then swap to my Compressor Prime and start priming, and then go back to Tenokai? I would have to preemptively prime someone with Compressor, then attack them, and then Tenokai them. But simply attacking them will just outright kill them, so that doesn't work. So what does work? Well, companions. Companions like this guy, who is using this, and this. Or you can easily use the same thing with a Diriga and a Verglass, or a Prisma Burst Laser even, or a Burst Laser Prime even. Same thing with an Odalus Prime and a Verglass. Same thing with a Panzer Volpaphyla with this build and this build. And you know, overall, all these things do work great. But the issue is with the Tenet Grigori that you absolutely need those things to be present for your damage to skyrocket and reach that high of a number. And obviously, Sentinels being Sentinels, they are much preferred over your usual pets, which for me at least is not something that I want to do because I like my Resourceful Retriever, I like my Kuva, I cannot just give it away. I will say that this is still an incredible weapon. I still have a Riven mode for it that is not very good, so I'm not going to use it. And I'm gonna showcase just what it looks like on a regular mission when all those multipliers don't actually work with each other, and what the weapon does on its own. So, simple, yet effective. Now, one thing about heavy attacking with Tenokai. So, if we Tenokai, we get this attack. Where the hell is the disc? What happened here? Why do I not have the disc? Well, you have to slide and then heavy attack, and now you get the disc. If you slide first and then heavy attack, it does the alternate heavy attack, which, guess what, is the disc attack in this case. So then, you actually get a lot more damage from that. And as you can see, the gas procs are hitting. It is quite good on its own. It doesn't need all these crazy buffing to do well. But it obviously won't hit for damage cap if you don't get any of those crazy buffs. But it will hit for some damage, and then if we had Eclipse, it will do even more damage. We saw 8 digits. It's not bad. The disc also lasts quite a long time, and it also bounces, as you can see up there. So even if you miss it, it will eventually hit someone, probably. So like if I hit it up there, it will bounce from the wall, down, back. Come on, hit someone, please. You shit. Whatever. You get what I mean. Maybe if I had a smaller hallway, the reason of its bouncing, it can also create a lot of nice synergies when it comes to abilities like Zada's Whisper and Mag Bubble and all that cool stuff. But overall, I think the Warframe, if you want to get this to damage cap pretty much consistently, would be some Warframe that adds a lot of base damage. So Chroma, Limbo, those are really good Warframes for this weapon. And in general, you can get a lot of value from it. And I just lost my combo. Okay. One really cool mechanic about this weapon as well is that the more combo you have, not only does your heavy attack get stronger, but it also lasts longer if you have a larger combo. So for example, if you're playing Mag, it would be worth to unironically use Truth's Flame and go for a heavy attack only build on this one. With Truth's Flame, you can genuinely gain on this. You would low-key get permanent 12x heavy attacks onto your bubble and just deal a ton of damage to the room when destroying the bubble. So it might be something to keep in mind when trying this weapon out, and maybe an idea that you have if you're a Mag player and you want to create some blender setup with your 2, which I know is pretty much every mag's main wet dream at this point, so just go crazy with it. Gas is kind of a no-brainer. If you go into a hallway and then somebody gets affected by a gas proc, then everybody else walks to the gas proc and then immediately dies, so why the hell would I not build for it? Then 1.8 million gas proc. If anyone walks into that direction, they die instantly and my gas proc is immediately goated. So obviously I will build for gas, and the way I did it is I only added Prime Fever Strike, and I had a simple heat 40%, I think is my Tenet Grigori right now, but you know, it's heat, so I could just get decent results immediately from that. So very, very cool. Do try the weapon out, it's very nice. I'm gonna change the Warframe a bit, take my crit damage Wisp, maybe take a Sentinel, and showcase the amount of damage I can actually do if I max everything out. But yeah, it is pretty ridiculous as a weapon overall. It's an overall very, very good weapon that deserves a bit more recognition, and in general, as I said on the video about the Venato, sides in general are very strong weapons that should be looked at. You guys need to pay attention to these weapons a bit more because their class is not only powerful, but also the weapons themselves are for some reason very, very strong. So I kind of want to kill her with a heavy attack only if she decides to come my direction, please. Can you? What? Ah, no, it's Manias. She deflected it. Why? She got Zephyr 3, she deflected it. There you go. That's basically what I wanted to do. But you have to delay it, stalling for content or something like that. I don't know. My god. Isn't it beautiful though? I really like this weapon. The whole mechanic of this weapon is one of my favorite Tenet weapons. In general, pretty much all Tenet melee weapons are really, really nice, and I only have one exception to this, but I think this is just a personal grudge with the weapon, the Sword and Shield, that I don't even remember the name at this point. Oh yeah, the Agendus. I don't really like the Agendus. I don't know why. Call me weird, call me whatever you want. I am not a fan of the Agendus. As a Sword and Shield enjoyer, the Agendus was sadly very disappointing, and both the Argo and Vel and Sigma and Octantis performed a lot better, and its heavy attack also kinda sucked. Even though its heavy attack is also MultiCO. I don't know, very weird stuff. Obviously, you can probably still get the heavy attack to do some really nice stuff, especially with Truth Flame and Mag and all that good stuff that we talked about, but still not a big fan of the weapon, but definitely worth looking at every Tenet melee weapon. The Tenet melee weapons have also become a lot easier to get because of the change on Railjack and how the corrupted Holokeys drop. If you want to farm these Holokeys to the best of your abilities, once you complete Sevagod's quest on Veil Proxima, you will have, I think, R9 Cloud unlocked. And you see how these two nodes right now look different than these two nodes? These two nodes have like a void thing onto them, like some void energy behind them. Well, these two that have a void energy behind them, they are void stones, while these are regular missions. That's the difference. So if you ever have a void storm on R9 Cloud or H2 Cloud, whichever it is that you unlock, you just grind anything to rank 7 intrinsics by playing regular Railjack missions or doing some random stuff. You grind anything here to rank 7. In my opinion, the best thing to grind to rank 7 would be Gunnery. Gunnery is absolutely beautiful to have on rank 7, and advanced Gunnery and all that. Piloting is also really good, but I really, really like Gunnery. You can also go Engineering. Engineering is really nice for the rapid support Dome Charge Forge, which I don't know why Dome Charge and forging the Dome Charge is kinda locked behind Engineering, but in general I think like Gunnery rank 7, rank 4 Engineering should be the play, in my opinion. Small note, I forgot to mention that if you don't have a Railjack built in, it's fine. most people will actually do these missions on the skirmishes, as they are very profitable for both credits and endo, and they're also very fun. So by running on a public squad, you have a good chance of getting a good railjack from another player, and they can carry you through that, and you can simply gun for them or do the missions accordingly. Doing that will still reward you with the Holokeys. You will all pretty much get a lot of good rewards, including Radiant Relics, good amount of endo, good amount of credits, especially if you're a new player. These are all very valuable. And in general, I think those missions are very underrated. Once you get in there, you can simply stay in that mission as long as you'd like. You get a really good chance to get 10 or even more Holokeys per mission. And you need 40 Holokeys for a weapon. And as long as you have the master rank, then you can just get them, which is very nice. Back to Wisp Prime. Let's use... oh, not this one, although she looks really nice. This one. Because this one has these. These, they obviously make a big difference on this one. And I will use this Wrathful Advance setup. Obviously, Naira mode doesn't really do anything for me, but I don't really care. And for the pet, I'm gonna go for the Hound. Because if we check here, my Hound will do all these in one singular attack. And that is quite funny, so why not just showcase that? I'm gonna go ahead and change the smite mode to Smite Orokin. And go to Beautiful Ani on the Void. And hopefully, we will see a damage cap. Also, I know I didn't do it on the first mission, which lowered my damage a lot, but it's important that you have some ability like Wrathful Advance, or some other ability that you can freely press every 24 seconds, so that you can stack your melee again. It changes the damage by quite a lot. On this build, I will have both Wrathful Advance and my second ability, so yeah. It missed. Please. Anyways. We need to stack to 12x real quick. Also, Stalking Fan. I know I talked about this last time. It's not the better stance, but on this weapon it doesn't really matter because you're only playing for the heavy attack, really. The heavy attack is the only thing you really care about. Oh shit. Whoopsie. Once you get used to the idea of just sliding and then throwing your heavy attack on this weapon, it just becomes so powerful. It gets so strong. $393 million. Oh, that's a damage cap. That's 1.2 billion without Wrathful Advance. Okay. And then my Dobu does that, so very funny. Very funny. These. The damage numbers get quite crazy, I tell you. This is one of the highest damage melees that you can get in the game. And this is not even on a certified melee Warframe. Imagine if I did this on Valkyrie or Varuna or even Chroma, who can add a ton of base damage. It just gets 1,000 times better. But I'm already dealing damage cap, so what's the point? Dude, I can't. My timing on my recent videos is so good when I'm doing these. This is like the second time this happens. Oh my god. It happened on the Call Me run and it happens now too. I love it. But yeah. Oh, minus 217 million. That's also damage cap. That's quite. Jesus, stop! Oh my god. Also, I like this room a lot. This is probably my favorite room to sit and start meleeing around. Oh my god. Dog moment. I wonder what's gonna happen to this acolytes. Oh my god. Can you please, if you can spawn on one of these gas brooks, will they run out? Ah, yeah, they run out. Whatever. Mania again? I literally just hit her in with one regular hit and she died. That's unfortunate. Mania. One regular hit. That's what she could tank. But yeah, you can see why you would want the primer pet. It makes a pretty large difference, if I do say so myself. Holy shit. Quite the difference in damage on this weapon. But yeah, take whatever sentinel or primer pet you like and go crazy with this, because it gets so ridiculous, even without a rivet move. And it has good disposition to this weapon. I don't know, like I'm not sure how much it can really reach, but it doesn't really matter. Even on 0x, look, this is gonna be like 2x. Wait. $46 million on 3x. Obviously, you know, the combo multiplier, when you get higher combo, your heavy attacks get higher damage, so it changes drastically. But yeah, all those multipliers working with each other, the CO multiplier, the heavy attack multiplier, the crit damages, everything else, all those stacked up together, you get some incredible results from the Tenet Grigori. Big fan of this weapon, definitely try it out. I think you're gonna like it, especially if you're someone who runs sentinels most of the time, something like a Deriga or a, I always like to call Nautilus Verglass because that's kind of what he is, but you know, Nautilus as well for the grouping. Yeah, it becomes quite strong with its damage. So before I stop, I want to do something. I will quickly go to my EE.log. I will see you in a minute and we'll see what type of damage we actually dealt, because it's going to be interesting to see, yeah? Alright, I'm right here where the damage is being done. So we got 4 million, 4.5 million, or billion, sorry, 5.3 billion here. DD.health damage equals 1, instant kill 0. What does that mean? These I've never seen before, not gonna lie. Zanuka player pet Tesla shot electric trigger 6. That's probably from the Hound. Damn, these are all from the Hound then. This is from the thing. This is from the Grigori. 5.8 billion. Another 5.8 billion, 1.8, 2.9 billion, 3 billion. And then you have the gas procs hitting for quite a bit. 5.8 billion again. These are all, almost all. Here is one of them and here's another that are not damage cap, but almost all of these are in fact damage caps. 2.4, 1.2, nothing too crazy. I'm saying nothing too crazy. These may sound crazy to a lot of people, but when you are using a dark sword as your daily driver and you see trillions, it changes a bit. There we go, that's a good one. 11 billion damage. That's pretty cool. That was on a butcher, from what I can see. Oh my god, there are so many of them. Holy shit. Okay. The gas proc is dealing 400 million too. So in case you were wondering how much the gas proc actually does, there you go. These are some good numbers. These are some good numbers. Pretty good excuse for you to try and get this weapon if you have a good percentage. I'm not sure what the percentage right now is, but I can check for you. Actually, it will have changed once this video has rolled out, but hopefully it's a good one. If it's anything from 40% or higher, then you're good to go. Because if you see mine, I don't have some crazy percentage here. Mine is 46.8. The maximum you can get is 60%. So this is not anything too crazy. And obviously you can use some other Warframe than this to maybe get even more damage than what I got, but obviously I'm already hitting damage cap, so Wisp is just fine for me. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I'll see you on the next one.